Shalom, Kol Halayim La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rochakwadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders at Great Millstone at Ruel, and much peace and blessings to all you sincere Akim out there that are pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone Miami camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying unto the elect. This is going to be a quick exhortation through the spirit to brothers out there, especially the brothers out there with their boots on the ground, on the front line, right, doing the work of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai. But unto all the believers out there, don't lose patience at the very end. Don't lose patience at the very end. Okay? And of course, I'm speaking about enduring in the faith of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai. As Yahweh Shai said himself, he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So if you don't endure unto the end, the very end, until the very last end, and that's whatever your end is, every brother is going to have their own walk from, this point now until the chariot returns, until Yahweh Shai actually redeems the elect. We understand the scriptures say that some shall be cast into prison, right? Some gonna have to give up their life. They're gonna go to sleep. Okay, they're not gonna be on the earth up until Yahweh Shai cracks those clouds. All right, some brothers the Lord gonna call back early, and as the scriptures say, you're gonna be risen up first. So that's a beautiful thing. Okay, if that's your lot. But those brothers that's going to remain until the very last day, you gotta endure to the very last day. And whatever your end is, you gotta endure to the end. So, like it says in the book of Sirach too, make not haste in a time of trouble, right? But constantly endure. So this lesson really is inspired through the spirit. Down here in GMS Miami, our word for the week is patience, which the spirit, got on me to bring out, because honestly, that's something that I'm dealing with at the moment, something that I'm, praying to the Lord for to increase in me, just due to certain situations that I have going on in my personal life. But the Lord is putting the spirit on me to do this lesson right now, because it's really on my spirit right now. We have to remain patient. Don't lose patience at the very end. And what I mean by that is, it's like when you go into the bathroom, or you may have to use the restroom, right? You may have to do number one, right? And you've been you've probably been in the car driving for an hour or two, or whatever. You've been holding, probably been sitting down, you couldn't get up, whatever. Then it's like, soon as you crack the door to actually get into the bathroom, you feel like your body is like can't hold on any longer, right? That's one example. Or there's many examples. You may have a deadline in your life, something you're waiting for this date, and it's like the closer you get to that date, you feel like your patience is running out. You feel like, man, this shit can't come soon enough. And I realize that's a natural thing. That's a part of the flesh. Like going back to the bathroom example, that's your body knows you're walking into the bathroom. So it's like, okay, I'm about to get a chance to relieve myself, speaking as the body, right? Well, that's going back to the other analogy. You in your subconscious mind, you know this date or this time or whatever, or you can't wait to get off. You get off at 4 o'clock, whatever, 5 o'clock. It's like the closer you get to that time, it's like time is going by slower and slower sometimes. That's because you keep looking at the watch. You can't wait. We can't have that mentality of saying, F it. Fuck it, I'ma just do this. That's making haste. And I'm talking about on the spiritual level first and foremost. But patience is a virtue that can improve your life in all areas. So I don't have many scriptures. I'm just going to read this. This is James chapter 5. And I'm going to start at verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it until he receive the early and latter rain. So that's a perfect analogy. Going into husbandry and farming, you gotta actually wait for the season. Like that's something that's totally out of our control. That's the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You could plant a seed today, but hey, ain't nothing you could do to make that fruit grow overnight or on your time. That's on the Lord's time. Of course, you do what you do as a husband. You trim and prune and nurture and water, but you gotta wait till harvest time. You gotta wait for the seasons to change. You gotta wait for it to play out all the way. And the closer you get to the harvest, you see the fruit growing. You're like, damn, this shit looking good. Like, I want to harvest this right now, but it's not time yet. I could just, cut this piece off. Nah, you gotta let it mature, fully mature, until it's time to actually reap, until it's actually ripe. And that makes me think about the Lord, how the Lord says that the wickedness has to reach a certain level before the Lord, sends that he swings that scythe, so to speak, swings that blade, swing that judgment, for he reap the earth. Verse 8, be also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. So we gotta wait for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to move on his time. Verse 9, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest he be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. So that's another thing. We can't hold grudges. You have an issue with a brother, you talk it out, you try your best to get over it, and sometimes it may not be fixed as much as as fast as you may want it to be, because we human, right? We're all in the flesh. But that don't mean that you hold a grudge. You in your mind, the brother said Salakia, but you still, in your mind, you still, it's still fucking with you, and it's changing your perception for that brother. But the brother sincerely repented, and he moved on, but you still on the shit. It can't be like that. Okay, verse 10. Take my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. We got countless stories, right? Verse 11, behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. Right, we got the book of Job. You could read the whole thing. You could read from the beginning to end. Now, in the moment when Job was going through it, he didn't know exactly what the end was going to be. He didn't know the Lord was going to give him back double everything. But he said, though, I'm gonna maintain my integrity. So he just endured it. He just ate it. He didn't say if the Lord don't fix it by this time, I'm a, like his wife told him, curse the Lord and die. Nah, he thugged that shit out. And that's what we got to do. Because we know our end. Because we can read the book of Job and see his end. We saw that the Lord gave him back double. We saw the Lord is very pitiful in the tender mercy. It may not have seemed like that in the beginning of the book, but at the end, you clearly see that. So that's something we need to keep in mind when we going through the shit we going through. We know if we endure to the very end, the Lord He gonna reward us. He told Peter, 100-fold. Verse 12. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea and your nay nay, lest you fall into condemnation. That's going into something a little else, but yeah, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. So you gotta be straightforward, man. That's still going along with the same topic. You just gotta keep going forward. Don't veer to the left, to the right. You gotta be even. You're not making excuses or trying to come up another way. No, we facing the reality of our situation. We're bearing the indignation of the Lord because we have sinned against him. And it's a simple formula. Bear the indignation, endure to the end, and you're going to be saved. Remain patient. And we know what the word patient means. It means what? To suffer. But let's get it. Since it's mentioned so many times, right? Patient, from the Greek, mark-rothomio. Mark-rothomio. I don't know if I said it right, but whatever. To be of a long spirit, not to lose heart. Right? Don't say Sirach 2. Set that heart aright and constantly endure. So that's why one of the most important thing to pray for in this truth is for a strong mind. It says to persevere patiently and bravely in enduring misfortunes and troubles. I mean, you got to eat the shit. Then the Lord told Ezekiel he got to eat shit. So we got to eat shit. Okay? It says to be patient in bearing the offenses and injuries of others. So that's another thing. Shit happen to you directly. You got to eat it. Other brothers do shit that, bothers you. But you gotta, when that brother repent and say salak and move, you gotta move over that shit. You gotta get over it. All right? To be mild and slow in avenging. To be low suffering, slow to anger, slow to punish. And you gotta cultivate this mindset because of how, of course, for the brotherhood's sake and for keeping the peace amongst the camp, the unity amongst the camp overall. But you gotta maintain and cultivate this mentality for yourself first and foremost. This is a part of ruling your spirit. That's how the spiritual power gonna come. That's how the blessings are gonna come. First, start with us ruling ourselves. So part of being patient is not shit just don't bother you, or if it may or may not bother you. But let's say it does bother you. You get over that shit. Do what you gotta do to get over that shit. Control your emotions. Don't let your emotions control you. And that's being patient. Suffering. Okay? And you practice that long enough, you get to the point where a lot of shit don't even bother you. And that's when you actually starting to grow. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. To the next one, shalom.